Last time I used this mask, people called me a gay furry. What is going on, my beautiful LARPers and LARPettes? Today, we're gonna go over the Century Arms Sharps Bros collaboration here. And right away, I wanna just mention that I'm not an expert when it comes to AKs. I do own about 20 AKs or so, maybe a little bit more. I can see them on my wall. I'm not gonna count them right now, but I did build a couple of them, and one of those being my favorite AKs, my Rifle Dynamics AK that I did go to Las Vegas, Nevada for and do their AK Builders class, and I owe a good amount of knowledge on the AK platform to the Rifle Dynamics crew. Really cool class. You guys should definitely check that out. But the Century Arms AK is a new AK offering from Century Arms and Sharps Bros. They did send this out to me for review. They did not pay me for this review. I am going to give you an unbiased I guess, opinion on this gun, but I do want to mention that I am going to do a lot further testing on this because I don't have enough rounds to actually give a full-blown opinion on this thing. Now, starting at the front here, you have Century Arms chevron compensator, and as you can see, it is not properly timed. That's because out there while shooting the first mag that I was putting through it, it completely unscrewed itself, and I was trying with the crescent wrench out there to time it properly, but with the crush washer pretty much crushed to no return there, and with the tool that I was using, and on top of that, no vice block, none of the proper equipment, I was able to get that properly timed, and I did mar up that compensator itself. So more than likely I'm going to just take that off and make it a suppressor host. With that being said, this is threaded in 5/8 by 24. The barrel itself is 16 1/4, I believe, fluted and chrome lined. I do want to get more testing, like I said, with this barrel and see how the accuracy performs on it. When I do the initial intros and stuff like that, I'm just out there burning ammo, guys, just trying to make you guys a cool, fun intro and not really doing any type of scientific testing. I leave those up to the professionals, but I would like to maybe do another maybe 5,000 round, 3,000, who knows how many rounds I'll get to it before I give you an actual update and my full opinion on this, but I do want to test out that barrel. Now with the fluting itself, I'm always interested to see how that's going to do as far as the heat dissipation on there. Any AK that I own, I always have to wear my Michael Jackson glove because it gets extremely hot in this general region here. And I haven't had an AK out of all the AKs I own that doesn't get extremely hot after dumping a few magazines. Now with this, I didn't really notice that there was too much of a difference between all the other ones, but I did kind of notice that with that fluting, I think it does help kind of cool itself off when, well, when I noticed it was between magazines. I think I would shoot like 3 or 4 magazines at a time and then go and load up a couple more magazines. And within that time, it would cool down quite a bit, but not to the point where I was able to just grab it without that glove again. But I do notice a little bit between my other AKs and this one that this does get a little bit cooler faster, but maybe I'm just making that up in my head. Who knows? I'm gonna actually do, when I give you guys the update, I'm gonna go ahead and get my little temperature sensor gun. Now moving on back, you have your combination front sight gas block here that does have a hooded front sight there. That's kind of what you usually see on like a Type 56. Not sure why they wanted to do that. I guess if you're into that sort of thing, I do wish that they did go ahead and put a adjustable gas block on this. Unfortunately, it doesn't, but with that threaded front end there, you already know people are going to want to suppress this thing, so why not put a adjustable gas block there? But I mean, it is what it is, but I really wish that they came with a adjustable gas block. Now moving on to the rail, this is the US Palm newly designed rail here, and there's really nothing bad that I have to say about this rail. It kind of integrates itself with the Ultimac top rail gas tube portion here, but it looks very sleek. It's not too thick, it's not too thin, and it does give you enough spacing away from that barrel where it's not like completely baking your hand right away. Now, this is a free float barrel, or a free float rail, sorry. M-lock all the way around. It's super sturdy, and it looks very sleek with this Ultimac rail on there. It doesn't have any sharp edges or anything like that. It's not a crazy cool looking rail, but it's also not a cheap looking rail either. It gets the job done. I really like that design with this Ultimac rail on there. Now, moving on to the main portion of this AK, which is the receiver. A lot of you are probably going to be interested in this AK just because of the receiver alone. Now, according to John Sharps, which is the owner of Sharps Bros, he claims that this receiver and the trunnion is out of a 4140 block of steel. And with that, a little maybe backstory on this receiver, if you don't already know. This receiver's been out for a good amount now, probably about, like, from what I remember, I think back in like 2015. This receiver is nothing new, guys. The collaboration is new, but the receiver itself is nothing new. And that's partly the reason why I want to do maybe a more extensive review on this one, just because when it comes to AKs, you can either get a really good built AK or a very poorly built AK, but I do want to put this through its paces to see how good of an AK this is, because the receiver itself got a lot of high praise from Jim Fuller. If you don't know who he is, look him up. A lot of you that are into AKs know who he is and what he's all about, and he did a video, did a burn down on this guy. I think Rifle Dynamics built a couple of them off of these receivers alone, and they had some really good stuff. Now that Sharps is making these with Century Arms, I'm really interested on the build quality. So far from my testing, I haven't had any issues with it. I got about like 800 or 900 rounds to it, but that to me is not enough for me to give an actual good opinion on it. Out of that Rifle Dynamics that I just showed you, I have a good 5,000 or 6,000 rounds on that guy, and that thing just runs like a sewing machine. And I know Sharps Bros makes really good quality stuff. I do have a couple of firearms from Sharps Bros. The Angstad Arms collaboration here, this is a like skull lower, and then it's a 9mm little PCC gun. I really like the design of that. It looks super cool. I have another one identical to that. It's a AR-15 though. So I'm no stranger to these Sharps Bros parts themselves. They make really cool stuff. But with this AK lower receiver, it's been in my crosshairs for a little bit now, and I'm glad I finally got one in my hands. But with this one, it's a fully built American AK here with Century Arms. Now, going over a little bit of details with the receiver here, you do get an enhanced safety selector here. I do wish that I had my Krebs custom safety selector. I like the little nub here to flip it up and down, but this one does the job. You got your oversized paddle release, which I think is really nice to have on an AK. On the rear end of it, you have a couple things going on. So you have a QD attachment on the right and the left side of the rear trunnion itself, and on this rear portion here you have a buffer tube, I guess, adapter option here. So you can put a AR-15 buffer tube onto it, and you can put your AR-15 stock or whatever you like. This one, it came with the Magpul. This is the new Magpul stock. I forgot the name of this one here. On the other side, you do get a side rail here, and you can definitely attach, like I have an RS Regulate here. This is the RS Regulate mount here, and this one fits on it super snug, super nice. I really like the way RS Regulate mounts go extremely low to that dust cover without actually trying to mount it on the dust cover itself. And moving on down, you do get Century Arms flat face trigger. I believe they call this the Rack 1 trigger. With that flat face though, it is a nice trigger. It's not as nice as an ALG flat face trigger, but it is nicer than a stock AK trigger. You get a nice solid pull, so you get like a 2-stage here. So hopefully I can get you guys a better view, but you get your first stage there, hits the wall, and then breaks, and then the reset is nice as well. So not the worst trigger in the world, but not an ALG. I think ALG is kind of like the standard for probably the best AK trigger out there. Either way though, I can still get really fast splits with this one, no issues. Now that pretty much does it on the MB47, guys. Again, I didn't give you a complete and extensive review on this gun and give you guys a more detailed review on this. I know a lot of AK aficionados out there, or AK enthusiasts, or AK purists out there want more extensive stuff, but I'm pretty sure maybe Robski or Clay or those big giant AK channels will give you a deeper dive into these. I just want to show you guys a new option from Century and Sharps Bros, and I think it's pretty cool that they are coming out with something like this for other options in the US market. Again, I don't really own too many US made AKs, and I'm liking this one here. So let me know what you guys think below in the comments. Do you think the Sharps Bros and Century Arm collaboration is a cool collaboration, or would you have preferred to just maybe build one out yourself, which those are pretty difficult sometimes if you don't have the proper knowledge behind it. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you all, love you all, catch you in the next one.